Let's get it on.
Goodness gracious. It's Wrestling Observer Live. It's Jim Valley, the effing king of recovery. Back again live 7 days a week, Monday through Friday at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, plus Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, and Saturdays, of course, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with me, the effing king of recovery. Back again because of the fans.
Each and every one of you!
That's right.
You all fat, neck-bearded, mouth-breathing trolls!
Not only that,
because I've got a fat ass and a bad attitude.
but you know something? Today, after night 2 of WrestleMania, and Cody losing what should have been an amazing victory, I was so close to this again.
Down in the can.
It's true. So close to depression, but thankfully, Sanada did it. He did what Cody didn't, and he completed the story. He defeated Okada to become the brand new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and I am now... I now have some hope in the world of wrestling, and hope that heroes who promise to win it for the fans, who promise to make big changes in their life, who make the big jump, actually hit it out of the ballpark. So I have some hope in the world, some hope in wrestling booking. Goodness gracious. We had 2 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of AEW, plus 3 hours or whatever it was, 3-4 hours of Sakura Genesis. We've got a lot to cover. Sleep, what's that? Plus, loser after loser after loser in WWE. And just how smart does Mercedes Moné look now? It's Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
Gonna rip it off.
And you're clear.
Thanks.
That time right behind
Pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steel Man Pills. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295. Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now. For prices so low, we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Attention small business owners. The IRS has just released a notice that businesses eligible to file for the Employee Retention Credit should not file with companies charging a percentage of their ERC refund. These companies have been shown to overqualify businesses,
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Jim Valley, back again. And overnight, I haven't seen all of Sakura Genesis. I do have to sleep. I do have a life. I do like to be awake for this show. So I've seen the main event. I've seen highlights from the women's match, but I haven't had the opportunity to see anything else so far. But overnight, from what I've seen, Sanada beating Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. And the story was that Sanada's new finish as a counter to the Rainmaker. They worked the head a lot. Okada worked Sanada's head and neck a lot, did a DDT out on the floor, different things like that. But Sanada came out. His look is now complete. He's got the short black hair, the beard is gone, and now he's wearing trunks instead of tights. These silver trunks, sort of like a broken mirror kind of look, pieces of silver foil all over his tights and his knee pads. He looked great. And when he took off his robe and everybody saw the new gear, you could hear the crowd go, ooh. And the announcers commenting on his new gear. It's a very methodical match, very solid, very, very psychologically sound. I would say very standard Okada match. Not overly spectacular, but very good. And again, the story being that Sanada's finish is the counter to the Rainmaker. What happens to Okada? Does he come out in balloons? Does he win the G1? That is yet to be told. After the match, Hiromu came out, and it looks like he wants to challenge Sanada. But before he could get the challenge out, Kanemaru challenged Hiromu. So looks like it's going to be Kanemaru versus Hiromu before we get Hiromu and Sanada. Also on the show, ELP is out of the Bullet Club. Interesting. The Bullet Club of David Finlay, El Phantasmo, and Kenta defeated Hikuleo Tamatonga and Master Wato. Finlay defeated Wato. But the whole story was that Finlay and ELP could not get along. Their tags were practically slaps in the face. After the match, Finlay dropped Tama with the Never Championship. And then Finlay was beating down Tamatonga. ELP tried to pull him off. And then Finlay dropped ELP with a forearm, leading to an exchange of strikes. And then after being pulled apart, ELP removed his Bullet Club gear. And Kenta, who was sort of playing peacemaker up to that point, dropped ELP, hit him with the GTS. Ishimori hit the ring, looked like he was going to make the save, but instead dropped ELP with a low blow. Ishimori then helped Finlay deliver the Shillelagh strike, of course then dissolving the world's cutest tag team. But there's speculation that ELP will join the Bullet Club spin-off of Jay White and Juice Robinson. So that will be very interesting. I do like the dynamic of ELP, Juice Robinson, and Jay White. You've got a lot of charisma, a lot of unpredictability if they themselves are Bullet Club Black and Gold or whatever they turn out to be. Could be an interesting dynamic for Forbidden Door if that happens. But very compelling. I will say that. Aussie Open defeated Bishamon to win the tag titles, so Aussie Open has arrived. And I've just seen clips. I haven't seen the whole thing, but Mercedes Moné defeated Izumi, or she calls her Hazy and Hazuki. Surprisingly, there was sort of a screw up between Izumi and Hazuki, and then Mercedes got Izumi in her finish, the moneymaker. Didn't quite hit it right, but there were some screw ups, so it worked, I guess. But regardless, surprisingly to me, she pinned Izumi, but after the match, Mayu Iwatani came out, challenged Mercedes Moné. Mercedes slapped Mayu, left her laying in the ring, and they're going to fight at Stardom's All Grand Slam Queendom on April the 23rd. And I gotta say, Mercedes Moné, she was in the ring wrestling a high-speed style match with arguably the two best at that high-speed style in Stardom. And they just kept going. I mean, that match just cooked from what I could see. Looking at the clips, I'm excited to see the whole thing. But how smart does Mercedes Moné look now? What do you think if she would have stuck around? Would she would have been in that tag team display match, that exhibition match? Would she have lost again to Rhea Ripley? Would she have lost again to Bianca? Would she have been in that 6-woman tag match, losing to the veteran team? She might not even been on the card. But how smart does she look now? Wrestling a great high-speed title match, being able to work all of the fan expos and Comic-Cons, making bank, taking pictures and signing autographs, plus the Mandalorian. She walked out, WWE didn't badmouth her, and now she's doing it her way. I mean, is she setting necessarily the world on fire? You know, that's still yet to be seen. I think she's kind of got her feet about her now. She's got it. She's got her rhythm. I think she'll beat Mayu. I think she's gonna roll through the best that Stardom has to offer for a while. She's gonna make bank, and who knows? Does she show up in AEW? I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I mean, she shows up in AEW. What does that mean for a potential WWE return? But either way, when you look at Cody and you look at all the women in WWE, with the exception of Bianca and with the exception of Rhea, she looks very, very smart. All right, enough of the positive. Let's get into the negative. You want to talk about banger after banger? Let's talk about WWE and loser after loser after loser. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Back again live because of the fans. You can call in at 1-800-878-PLAY. 1-800-878-7529. Just like Ryan from Cumberland. Ryan, what is on your mind today, my friend?
I have a couple questions about the sale at WWE. Do you think they'll have a women's weight division like they used to do for the men, since it's owned, by a company and by UFC? And also, do you think they'll get the AEW route and have a win-loss record before the wrestlers come out for each match? Or do you think they'll look too much like AEW if they do that?
You mean, did you say a women's weight division? Like a cruiserweight division or something?
Yeah, either like a water weight division or like how UFC does like a different division for weight classes.
I would be very surprised to see WWE take a sports presentation outside of the world title matches. They do that sort of with introductions sometimes when they want to make title matches seem big. But no, WWE is sports entertainment. And I can't see them changing their presentation. When they talk about the merger with Endeavor and WWE, they're talking about making cuts. They're talking about paying talent less. They're talking about combining different things, different departments, production, PR, marketing, HR, those type of things. Those are the type of things they're talking about. They're talking about leveraging deals as far as sweetening the pot, adding one thing or another as far as deals with various companies or networks or providers, things like that. I don't see WWE dramatically changing the presentations. Maybe more of a wrestling presentation like we've seen Triple H do with some things. But by and large, that's what brought WWE to the dance, is sports entertainment. I just don't see that changing unless there's a dramatic shift in what the public wants. But no, I don't think so. But I appreciate the call, Ryan. Thank you so very much. What did I tell you? Vince is back. And Vince, maybe with the exception of a couple of weeks, and when he went on vacation, never left. We've seen it by his booking tropes. We've seen it by him being back in the office and back recently calling shots in Gorilla. I understand that he went over yesterday's show in Portland, but he wasn't there. And I'm not surprised. Portland's not a major market. Not a major market for WWE. Doesn't need to be there. And I think that's what he means by he won't be in the weeds. But he'll definitely be involved. And things will definitely be influenced by him. Last week, the week before, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I talked about how much more sense it made to have Sammy beat Roman at WrestleMania. And then you have Cody ready to go once Roman regained the title. And then you have Cody win the title from Roman at a red, white, and blue patriotic Liberty Bell, his daughter Liberty, just red, white, and blue up the wazoo in Philadelphia. Makes perfect sense. But now you've got Sammy and Jay and Solo. Solo did a better Smo and Spike last night on SmackDown than he did at WrestleMania. Let me get this out of the way. I mean, I tweeted about it, but night one of WrestleMania was about as perfect a WrestleMania as you could get. If you would have ended it there, one of the greatest, if not the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Perfect. Perfect flow, perfect timing, perfect energy. Everybody got their moments. It was brilliant. Night two, they just could not get that lightning in a bottle. Brock and almost didn't stink up the joint. It was just sort of a class in selling. The women, the tag match was a SmackDown match. It was okay. They tried, but, in all honesty, those women just aren't up to the ability of the men in the tag team division. And a lot of other women, they tried, God bless them. And then there was just the energy of night two. I mean, the Intercontinental match was great. But after that, the Hell in the Cell mystique is ruined. I think you and I both understand that you can't have blood for sponsorships, and that makes perfect sense. Then don't have a Hell in the Cell match. It killed the Hell in the Cell. We've seen the strings on the puppet. We've been to the Puppet Show. We've seen the strings. Hell in the Cell need to go away. That match was just slow and plodding. And we've talked about it before on this show. Triple H has a tell. And his tell is to build you up full of hope and then crush you. God, does he love to do that? He did it with Drew. He did it with Sammy. He's done it with so many other people in the year or so that he's been booking. And I was thinking, there's no way he's going to do it with Cody. I thought about it. But one, Cody was so hot. And it was WrestleMania in Hollywood with all of these stars and celebrities. You got to give them the happy ending. And they didn't in a major market. It's baffling. And of course, Paul Heyman is going to say Cody's a bigger star now because he's Paul Heyman. He's not employed because he doesn't know how to play the game. And the right thing to say, is Cody's a bigger star. But he's not. Is Lex Luger a bigger star because he lost at SummerSlam? Is Drew McIntyre a bigger star because he lost at Clash at the Castle? Is Sami Zayn a bigger star because he lost at Elimination Chamber in Montreal? Is Marty Jannetty a bigger star because he got thrown through the barbershop window? Sanada is a bigger star today because there's a way that New Japan tells a story that you have to build yourself up. When someone comes back from a long injury or a long absence, very rarely do they win the first match back because they haven't been in the ring. They have ring rust. At least that's the story they told. How many times did Tanahashi beat Okada before he finally was defeated at Wrestle Kingdom? There's a method of storytelling in New Japan that makes sense. That's not the way, historically, the WWE tells its story. Is Matt Riddle a bigger star? No. Is Randy Orton a bigger star? No. Is Brock Lesnar a bigger star because he's lost to Roman Reigns? Name one person who's a bigger star because they lost to Roman Reigns. There isn't one. Because in WWE, when you lose, you lose. It's not banger after banger after banger. Now the whole roster is filled with loser after loser after loser. Is Roman Reigns worth all this? Talk about it next. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Wrestling Observer Live Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. By the way, I'm also on YouTube, my YouTube channel. You can find that at Jim Valley. So be sure and check that out. Boy, oh boy, I'm just having some technical issues today. I apologize for that. I don't know what is going on. This is kind of annoying. Oh well, we'll try to make it through. Someone's asking about Wembley Stadium. I don't know. I don't know what my measure of success would be for Wembley Stadium. Josh says anything above 45,000 is a success. Thinks that goal is more than attainable. I think it's entirely possible. I think they could certainly do that. I just think it's amazing when you think about whether AEW is the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world, the third biggest, however you want to rate it. But it's amazing that someone other than WWE can realistically run Wembley Stadium. And when you think about the fact they didn't go to the Cottage, instead they went there. I mean, obviously Tony's got experience. The Jaguars have played in Wembley. Fulham played in Wembley. Tony lived in England. It's going to be fascinating. So very, very, very interesting. Hey, we have a new NWA National Heavyweight champion. EC3 defeated Scion last night at the NWA 312 pay-per-view. Also on the show, women's tag team match. Misa Kate and Maddie took the tag team titles. They defended the tag team titles. Also on the show, in a hair versus match, Gags the Gimp defeated Sal the Pal. Some of these names. Also, the NWA Crockett Cup announced for June 3rd and 4th. The NWA chugging along. I don't know. They're doing the best. They're doing the best that they can, I guess, with what they have. But you got to give them credit, I suppose, for trying. But I want to get back to talking about night 2 of WrestleMania. It just felt like it didn't have the same energy. It didn't have the same excitement. And it just felt like we've been here before with Cody. Like when he couldn't challenge for the world title. And Brock turning on Cody. I think you risk the fans booing Cody Rhodes against Brock. But now you have two people who in the past 6-7 months have lost to Roman Reigns. This is a battle for second place. Everybody on the card has lost to Roman Reigns. Everybody has. What does it matter now? And let me ask you this. And I want to make this clear. I wish Joe Anoa'i nothing but the best. I'm glad he overcame leukemia. But How great is Roman Reigns? Is he really that great? I mean, yes, he can wrestle. The formula, main event style. But there's a formula to that. Anybody can do that formula. And yes, he's very good at that slow burn and standing there and moving slowly and saying, acknowledge me. And he could turn up the intensity and do the Superman punch and the spear. But how dynamic and how diverse of a performer is Roman Reigns? You're looking at a guy for 11 years has been anointed the chosen one. Everything the machine has done in WWE has been designed to either get this guy over as a heel or a babyface. My God. Ultimate Warrior didn't get this kind of push. And he beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. It's like you beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. Up a couple months later, it's not working. Time to pull the plug. Cody Rhodes was right when he says we're at year 11. It's worked for about 3 years of 11 years. And I think that when the average fan sees Roman Reigns, they go, what's Jason Momoa doing there? He looks cool. He stands there. He can move slowly. But I mean, I don't think he's as dynamic or as multifaceted as a performer as Seth Rollins, for example. Seth has had to change his character and learn new things and go to maintain and stay afloat in WWE. Roman Reigns has had everything handed to him. Beaten The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Retired, basically, The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Beaten John Cena and beaten everybody. And it's still, he should be a super duper mega star on his own. Going into this WrestleMania, who is the number one merch mover? Was it Roman? No. It was the guy who's been in WWE about a year. Cody Rhodes. And I think they're going to kill Cody Rhodes. He's not going to be a bigger star. Because people know once you lose in WWE, you're done. And sure, you could speculate now that Cody Rhodes could go into next year's red, white, and blue Liberty Bell WrestleMania, the Spirit of 76, and win the title. But people speculated that Lex Luger lost at SummerSlam so he could win at WrestleMania. And guess what? He got screwed by Mr. Perfect at WrestleMania. And then he was tagging with Davey Boy Smith. And it took him going back to WCW to get hot again for about a week. Roman Reigns is a star, but when you consider all that has been done, he should be bigger than Hulk Hogan, bigger than John Cena, bigger than everybody. John Cena at least moved merchandise. The kids loved John Cena. The kids loved Cody Rhodes. It is just, this guy's had the machine around him. Seriously, How good, really, is Roman Reigns? I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm just saying he's been anointed. He's worked slowly. He's worked a very standard main event style. He looks good. He hasn't been involved in any scandals. I'll give him that. But he should be a ridiculously big star compared to his push. They've laid to waste the entire roster for this guy. And that's what we have. And I think that we're in a spot where WWE thinks they can just give you what they want. With Drew at Clash of the Castle, I told you he wasn't going to win. I knew he wasn't going to win. And now, are we going to kill Roman's mythical 1,000-day reign? A myth. Title reigns aren't real. They have chosen him to do this. They've decided that you're impressed, and fans are now impressed by long title reigns. So they're going to build people up for long title reigns. Are they going to turn Roman babyface? Are they going to turn Jey Uso babyface? Are we going to spend a year waiting for Jey Uso? I mean, you and I both know the best shot might be a Saudi Arabia show. But by and large, we're going to live through another year of this. Is this for Jey Uso? Is Jey Uso going to be that big of a star if Sammy finds the good in Jey? And this is just speculation on my part. I think Jey will get over, but I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. Jay White dodged a bullet. Jay White made the right move. It's so funny. There was so much momentum going into that WrestleMania. And they could have launched a brand new babyface and shown a new facet of Roman Reigns being ruthless to try to get that title back. But instead, we're right back where we started from. They left the door open for AEW. It's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. Wrestling changes every day. It's Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
You're clear.
Everyone watches more than 5 hours of television. Really? And that's not counting mobile viewing. Get Dish TV and make that time worth it. With Dish, you can get hundreds of channels, access to all kinds of sports, tons of movies, premium channels, and more. Another thing that's really cool with Dish is you can watch most of your favorite shows on your mobile device anywhere for a lot less than cable. Yes, that's right. We are asking you to watch more TV and not less TV, but make it better television with Dish this time, anytime, anywhere. So call right now and learn how easy it is to save on your television bill and get the most out of your TV viewing experience. Dial that number and I promise you we're here waiting for your call because we want to save you money and give you better television. We are Dish TV.
800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. That's 800-293-0328.
If you're moving to another state, you're getting a fresh start in a brand new town. And when you choose a moving company to help get your valuable possessions to that new home of yours, you want somebody that's going to take care of your things like you would. That's why you need to call Colonial Van Lines. They're America's #1 moving company for a reason. Because they'll take care of your things like they would their possessions. They'll use caution so nothing gets damaged. And they won't treat you like a number, they'll treat you like a friend. And when you call now on a qualified move across state lines, they'll give you a $250 discount. Move your things the right way. Call Colonial Van Lines now for a free quote.
Call now to learn more about this special $250 long-distance move discount. 800-847-0225. 800-847-0225. 800-847-0225. That's 800-847-0225.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
800-725-1651. 800-725-1651. That's 800-725-1651. Paid for by Legal Alert Line.
It's the hard knock life.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
You know, one thing interesting from SmackDown last night was the reaction that Dominic got from that crowd in Portland. They booed him out of the building. They booed him. It was directed at him. Roman gets a reaction. It's directed at the booking and at the company. When Roman won at WrestleMania, were you mad at Roman? No. You were mad at the company. Dominic has been a heel for how long? And he got a more organic, a more vitriolic reaction than we've ever seen Roman Reigns get. Roman Reigns get the reaction that they're mad at the company for booking him against Brock that way, or The Undertaker that way, or Cody that way. And with all of the resources, the time, the energy, the money, the booking, Dominic is more over than Roman Reigns and got a more natural reaction. Dominic should probably be the world champion more than Roman. Roman should be getting those reactions. And the fact that he's not, and a 26-year-old kid is, should say something and back up what I'm saying. Roman is a product of WWE. Dominic was a natural reaction from fans. There's a big, big difference. Stick around. I'm going to talk afterwards, do a little overtime on the YouTube channel. I've got a couple of minutes, but be sure to check me out on Twitter, also my YouTube channel, and we will talk to you next week. Who knows what's going to change? Things always changing in wrestling, except for Roman's booking. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live, back again because of the fans. everybody's leftovers. I don't understand. There's not more heat on Roman or Cody. Cody's now like everybody else. Sammy's like everybody else. And here's the other thing. For 1,000 days now, Roman has cheated to win the title with the Usos or Solo Sikoa. And the company in kayfabe has done nothing about it. They just, no big deal. Just let him do it. Let him get away with it. It's like, I don't know. He's just very slow, very deliberate. It's just, I don't know. Yeah. I think people are way less interested. I agree. I think that sucked the air out of the room. I thought it was a bad move to make in a major market. Stupid move. So they've killed the hometown hero in the UK. They've killed the hometown hero in Montreal. They killed Brock at SummerSlam. They've killed everybody. I don't know. Yeah. The whole atmosphere. It was stupid. They could have really sent a message. I mean, that show was so big and so massive. And the production, except for all the commercials waiting for the main event, that was brutal. But the production was so great. Yeah. They could have really made a statement with AEW. But the statement was, it's going to be just the same now. It's going to be absolutely the same. Night 1 was excellent. I thought night 2 was not that great. I mean, night 1 just cooked. Night 1 cooked. It was brilliant. It was a beautiful show, but the problem is, if it's one WrestleMania, so you've got to add the two together, and I think it brings it down a little bit. I don't know. It's stupid. I mean, what, they have Gunther? I don't know. I will say this, watching SmackDown last night, Ludwig Kaiser's pretty great. He's pretty great. I don't know. I mean, all the women are compromised, except for maybe Raquel Rodriguez, but you got to put some more time into her. I don't know. It's just, yeah. I just feel like they lost a lot of momentum. They made the wrong decisions, and it just, I don't think fans, I don't know. It just feels like they made a key mistake with Cody. Cody needed that win. And then even if Cody doesn't have a long title reign, he still needed that win. But they didn't give it to him. It's just, we've been here before. We've been here before with Cody losing. And the crowd knows he's not going to lose at, Great Balls of Fire 2 or something like that. I mean, and then you got the King of the Ring coming up. So what? Someone beats all the other also-rans. You're the best also-ran and get the challenge. Everybody's been. Who do I like? HBK or Brett? I think Brett's a better person. HBK is a more spectacular wrestler. I think Brett is more sound psychologically. And also, Brett's a better person. So, there we go. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens with Wembley Stadium. We'll see what happens. It'll be a barometer. I've got to think, given Tony's background in analytics, and he's no stranger to Wembley Stadium, he's got to have a plan. I mean, if they do well at Wembley Stadium, then AEW is going to look like a very hot promotion. If he can respond and make that show look something like WrestleMania, then I think it's a win. We'll see what happens. Oh, you're in London? No, cool. God, I've thought about flying over, but no, I really shouldn't. We need to do it at the Pacific Rim soon. It may be a little bit. I've got a remodel coming on the inside of the house, so I may have to focus on that for a little bit, but I'll see what I can do. But we need to do that. It's been a while. I've just been kind of busy. I apologize. It's my fault. That's on me. Yeah, we'll see if they can get over 55,000. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about the market. I don't know enough, about things they can do, but it's very ambitious. It'll be curious to see. It's also curious, people talking about Drew McIntyre. And I don't think Drew's out of his contract by Wembley Stadium. But my point being, it's going to be interesting with a lot of people coming up for contracts and how negotiations go. I think Drew is a harbinger of things to come. I think we're going to see more people's contracts coming up, and by and large, more people unhappy. I think we're going to see people being negotiated down. That's what I think. I don't know about Goldberg. Yeah, I think AEW and ROH had a very good week. ROH seems to be back. And people will compare Mark Briscoe, I apologize. Mark Briscoe to Cody. But we don't know Ring of Honor storytelling yet. We do know WWE storytelling. There's a long history of what happens with WWE storytelling. Much like with Sanada, there's a long history of New Japan storytelling. Well, when someone loses, there's still hope. I was going to bring this up. I'm glad you asked this. I'm wondering how Vince will react to the Wembley show. if he doesn't try to screw them. I think it's going to be hard. I mean, Tony Khan owns 2 football teams, soccer and American football. He's connected in London. I don't think Vince is going to be able to screw them. You know, they chose not to run Wembley Stadium. They ran Cardiff because they got a lot of tax breaks and made a lot of money just for running Cardiff. So I don't know what they can do. I mean, they're already doing Money in the Bank in London. So, I mean, that's part of what they can do. I mean, that's all we can do. It varies. It varies how much I watch during the week. For example, like I said, I couldn't watch all of Sakura Genesis Mountain Dew. Anyway, couldn't watch all of Sakura Genesis, so I'll catch up. I'll catch up on that. I don't know what Goldberg looks like. I mean, geez, the guy's getting up there. I don't know if he can still do it and look like Goldberg at his age, with all due respect. Even he says it's hard. I don't know. Vikingo Commander. It's interesting to see these guys push forward the lucha style, not unlike Ray and the Cruiserweights did in WCW. It's going to be curious to see how WWE adapts this sort of style to the WWE universe. Yeah, Mark's finally getting the spotlight that they deserved. Yeah. Well, SummerSlam is in Detroit. Very cool to see Aussie Open winning the belts. Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. That was very cool, though. They did that. I've got Diet Mountain Dew. I kind of like the Diet Mountain Dew. That's what I like. I have to drink it. I don't have to, but believe it or not, because of my kidneys, Mountain Dew is better for you than other sodas, which that's mind-boggling to me, but it's true. Anyway, yeah, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I got no problem with that, sponsoring matches. It's just kind of funny that the father and son fighting each other brought to you by Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but whatever works. We'll see more matches sponsored. You know, I mean, even, what was it at All Out? They had the Cracker Barrel match. Remember that? A couple of years ago at All Out. They did that. I think we'll see more of that. And then, was it Sol Ruca was inside the Cinnamon Toast Crunch doll stand-up? And then KSI was in the Prime water bottle, energy drink bottle. I have no problem with that. I think it's fine. That barrel spot was amazing. And I don't have a problem with that, working that into stuff. I don't know. Yeah, we did do that in 2019. We did the commentary for that. That was kind of crazy because they ran it at that club, and they did a show beforehand, and the ring was broken, and it took them a very long time to fix the ring. And so Fumi and they went live, didn't tell us. That was really annoying. The director goes, "We'll let you know when you're on the air." And so Fumi and I are sitting there waiting for the director to tell me we're on the air. And finally I got a message from a friend of mine. Thank God he was watching. He goes, Jim, you're on the air. And we had to fill a half an hour while that ring crew, without a great sense of urgency, stood around and stared at the broken ring. And then it just took for days. So we basically did a history of women's wrestling in Japan for a half an hour, filling time. And the director never told us anything. So that was... Sometimes they get these production companies in wrestling. Promoters either don't know or they go cheap. And you get these people who just, God bless them, don't have a lot of experience and don't know what they're doing. And that's kind of what happened. But it was fun. I'm glad I got to do it. I got to call one show, one pay-per-view. I mean, with my voice the way it is, that'll never happen again, and that's okay. That's fine. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. We got to do it. Like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. My voice is not good. I can't do it. I couldn't do it unless there was a dramatic change. It's not going to happen. And that's okay. That's okay. That's the way it goes. Yeah, no, I mean, in a perfect world, I would have loved to have done English commentary for Stardom or All Japan or something like that. Something where nobody's there. You know, I don't want to take anybody's job. Not that I could have or would have. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I would have preferred to go to a space where, you know, Ian hasn't been there, or Kevin Kelly, or whomever. Someone hasn't already been there. So I didn't want to, you know. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, KO eating his Snickers. Very funny. Yeah. I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, is it going to be Jey Uso getting kicked out of the bloodline? And that's the other thing. It's like, we've kind of already seen this story with Sammy. It's like, we don't need 2.0 of this story. It already feels like a retread, like we've already been there. I don't know. I just tell you what, Mercedes Moné looks like a pretty smart person. I will say that. Well, anyway. Anything else, you guys? Anything else on your minds? I thought Sanada looked great. I've liked Sanada for a very, very long time. And I always thought that, well, the big beard and the big hair made him stand out. I also thought that it was a bit of a hindrance to get up to that next level. And yeah, he's got a clean look now. And just 5 guys. Who would have guessed? Just 5 guys at the top of that. I'm probably not going to see it in a theater. I'll see it at some point. If they have it like on HBO Max or something. But I don't know. I'm not that jazzed about it because they took Charles Martinet out of it. I'm just like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not that jazzed. It doesn't have real Mario. We shall see. I'll see it at some point, but I don't know. Doesn't look that great. So I'm not that jazzed about it, to be honest. But I hope it does well. I mean, I want to see Super Nintendo World. That looks awesome. Working on the new Donkey Kong coaster. That looks amazing. Love that. You know, you could almost compare what I'm thinking about it. Disney and WWE, that they've owned the space for so long. And they've been a leader with theme parks, and their fans love them so much, they can jack up prices for so much and give them just okay experiences. That opens up the door for Universal to put together such a superior product like Super Mario World. And if they do a great job on the feeling of the Donkey Kong coaster and make it feel like Donkey Kong Country, forget it. I really feel like, yeah, Disney's a monster and a juggernaut, but I feel like it's overpricing itself, and it's also taking its fans for granted. That's what I think. And I feel like WWE's, it's going to be in the same way. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see the numbers drop by a noticeable, not the bottom fall out, but like 100,000 or 200,000 lower than they were, say, in December or November, before things heated up. I mean, you're going to expect a post-WrestleMania drop, but I think we're going to see it go a little bit lower than expected. And again, bottom's not going to drop out, but I don't think they can do this so many times. I mean, they have jerked you around now with all of these people. And I just think the crowd's like, okay, Roman's the guy. And it's just, I don't know. I got into wrestling in, I got into wrestling when I was a little kid, 1978. My dad died when I was very young. And my stepfather, who's from Mexico, watched wrestling. And so I started watching Portland wrestling. And I knew about it prior to that because, all the kids talked about various stars. Bull Ramos. I remember Bull Ramos and Jimmy Snuka and Jesse Ventura. And then so I'd watch it and I enjoyed it. And then it was, I liked it. But, it was up there with like Kiss and Star Wars and all that stuff. And then when Roddy Piper came to town and became a good guy, then I was just like, loved wrestling because Piper was great. And then I got wrestling magazines and Piper left and I could follow Piper as he went to Crockett and Georgia and WWE and all that stuff. So I think it was Piper and then being able to follow him from all the different places. So that's kind of what happened there as far as that goes. But that's what happened. Anyway, all right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, I've never stopped, so it's been a very long time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for doing this. And anyway, all right. Well, I will talk to you guys next week. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.